And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace. And Tiger, the tiger, what is that look?
I think it's leopard. It kind of looks like I got in a mud fight.
Yeah, I did not say that.
It's supposed to be leopard, but
See,
you know.
Candace brings color to your world, where I'm always just kind of basic over here on my side of the screen. There's always something going on over here.
It
Looks
is.
good, though.
Thank you.
Look good. I just didn't know what to call it.
It's kind of just like a little thin sweater because today I don't know what the weather's.
It's nippy out
what are we
there.
looking at this morning?
We're looking at rain right now in the 50s. We'll get into the 70s, but you throw a little rain in with that,
Right.
and it ain't gonna be pretty. It brings chills. I still got my little heater going on that is next to me.
Yeah, when you cut out any sunshine, you know, you are looking at some cooler temperatures. So.
Yeah, you are. Let's quickly look at radar so everybody will know what's going on with this. As we pull up radar, we're showing that all the rain is out to our west. Now, this is the area down through here that is of concern today. This right through here is at a 2. All this Baton Rouge area as we go up through. And matter of fact, let me just show you there where the severe weather is expected, and then we'll move along there. Severe storms today. This is the yellow is the 2 area. From Lake Charles, Beaumont, over to Lafayette, Baton Rouge area. And you go up here just into Mississippi, gets into a 2. The northwest corner there, Natchez, Mississippi, is a 2. As we move across here, Meridian is at a 1. And we go west, kind of follow I-20 for the most part. But if you'll go into this, and let's look at our locations here, we're going to get wet. If you're watching us here, you're going to get some rain. But this is going to cut across as we look at this right around Northcrest Baptist Church there from Meridian, Rainbow Lakes, following down North Hill Street and out to Sickalina Volunteer Fire Department, and then straight across into Newton County, and then all points back west going toward Jackson, Carthage area, getting a little bit there. And then again, your worst weather down here. Jones Junior College, down at the Golden Eagles, they're in this. And you got some flood watches down here from Mobile all the way across the coast there. But right in there is where we're expecting the worst of the weather to be. And if something happens, we'll let you know there. Let me pull this up and show this from the National Weather Service. It is worth sharing also, if I can find what I've done with it. And all right, here we go. Let me pull this up on the screen where we can see for everybody. Pull that down, and let me go back up. Here's what the National Weather Service tells us here. This is our area here. We do have the possibility of flash flooding also, and that's going to be Clark County for the majority there. As you get to Hattiesburg, a little bit worse, and on down, the further the coast you go there. Leaks for Wiggins, y'all are in this, including Mobile. So mostly to the south, but we are going to get wet today.
Gosh, I mean, every week we've gotten some kind of rain.
Yeah.
Last night we had a ball game, and there were where we have to park at the ball game. The field, it's like a little open field. People park in. There were people getting stuck when we pulled in. Our wheels were spinning. I thought, oh gosh, we're gonna get stuck. We didn't, but somebody did get stuck. So this is just gonna be worse for the Friday game.
And it can happen. Pulling up right now, if you did not get your grass cut by yesterday, I'm not so sure that you're going to get it done without getting stuck over the next few days.
Yeah, we'll need a bush hog to do ours by the time we get around to cutting it.
I hurried yesterday afternoon doing mine, trying to get it done. I got it completed. It didn't look great, but it is done. So that's kind of
good.
where the issues are today and what's going on there. Moving things around where we can see what's going on.
Oh, okay.
And welcome. We'd like to say hello to everyone this morning as you're starting your day.
Yes.
Miss Ann Cook is up watching today. How you doing, Miss Ann?
Elmer Talbert's watching. Good morning. And Donna Sue Peebles says good morning, and she wants us to have a blessed day. And we hope all of y'all have a blessed day today. I mean, we do.
We need those.
We do.
Catherine Moore is watching. Also, Donna Roseman. Let's see here. Milton Savell is watching.
Mm-hmm. She says we're matching today. Y'all are matching.
Get out of here, a little tan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that tan does go with that, doesn't it?
Yeah, color coordinated.
Totally unplanned.
Yeah, it was.
I just got them in a row in the closet is how I choose what I'm wearing. Did I wear that one day? Yeah, let's wear this one.
Yes.
Tylertown, Mississippi is watching this morning. Kathy Bracy, thank you for watching.
Yes. Tajetta, too, good morning to you.
Also, see, Sarah, hey, Tajetta. Sandra Sanborn is watching.
She says
Thank
be
you.
on the lookout for the missing teen in
Yeah.
Meridian, which we do have a story about.
And that's you know, I've never had that happen, and it can happen to anyone.
Right.
Is what we're looking at. Let me pull this up. And we'll pull up her picture and show you of what we're doing. This young lady here is missing. I shared it on the page, and if you wouldn't mind going to my page and sharing this later when you get a moment. But her name is Gia Strickland. She's 16 years old. She goes to Meridian High School in the 10th grade and ran away from home last night. Sheriff's Department, also Meridian Police Department, is aware, but left her phone at home, so she doesn't have it, can't be traced by that. I don't know if she's with anyone or any of those kind of details at this point, but
Right.
if you see her, look for her, call the police department so Mom can know where
Right.
she is.
That would be the worst feeling as a mother or a parent or anybody that has a loved one that, you know, is missing like that. We pray that she stays safe.
Yeah.
You know, and that she'll be home soon.
Do hope so. Fingers crossed on that.
Yes.
Tajetta said my hat also matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was it? Jackie Jack White was by the other afternoon, come by to see me, and he wanted to know why I wasn't still wearing my silver belly. I hadn't found one with this design. That's why I don't have a silver belly right. And this is the only color I could get it in.
Oh, okay.
It's just
So
weird thing.
I don't know what
It's
about a
George
silver
Strait design,
Okay.
and it's a
Okay.
different color. It's a tan color,
Oh, okay.
which I wore for many, many, many years,
Mm-hmm.
and then couldn't get it. So I'm on the lookout. had to get another one there.
I need
But,
me a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I've never seen you in one, as a matter of fact.
I hadn't. I don't even know that I've ever worn a cowboy hat unless maybe years ago in high school we did something and I dressed
got
like
boots?
a cowboy. I do have cowboy boots. I do. A couple pairs of those. I love them. So.
I have the smallest head known to man, so mine will not fit you.
Okay.
I wear a 7, which is very, very small.
Really?
I have yet to see anybody that could wear one of my hats because it just sits right up on top of their head and won't go down.
Oh, really?
I got a little bitty thing. I don't know how that happened.
I got all this hair probably would not fit under yours. So.
And and speaking of, you get a short haircut, then your cowboy hat doesn't fit because it'll go down and hit your ears, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
In case anybody wanted to know all that information there.
I do like the looks of a cowboy hat, though. I think it's very southern.
It is a southern thing, and that's always been my little trademark there.
Y'all, my hair keeps getting. I'm gonna have to move this back just a little bit.
You getting hung up in the
My
microphone?
hair keeps catching this right here, so I'm gonna move it back.
Well, if this is your first time ever watching, welcome. We appreciate it, and all those that have joined us each and every day, thank you so much for being here. We usually go for about an hour and tell you about what's going on locally and across the nation. Now, I hadn't gotten more details on this yet, but over the weekend, there seems to have been some shots fired near Bonita Lakes Mall, not the mall, but up by the Walmart at the stop sign there.
I did hear that yesterday. Somebody asked me about it, and at the time, I had not heard that it had gone on. But
Someone pulled up next to a minivan and shot in the minivan. No one was hurt. They've got a description of who it was, and the police are looking for them. I'm like you. I don't like this happening in Meridian, period.
right. So, did the minivan have any connection to the people who shot at him?
Good
Do
question.
You know that, or
Do not know.
Okay.
I'm going to get with Chris in a little while, the police chief, and see what he can tell us about this, more details.
It's getting bad everywhere. I mean, really,
Yeah.
people are getting bold. They don't care if it's broad daylight or you know, they're just brave. They'll walk up on anybody.
Also, there was a shooting in Meridian, but it was a domestic disturbance there. I don't think anybody died from it, but it was a gunshot wound. Somebody got into an argument yesterday in Meridian, and that happened. Boy. And then, you know, one of the stories that we led off with this morning of this is because so many people from here work in Louisiana and work on the rigs that have to go out. We've still got 12 people missing from a boat that capsized yesterday. It was a 112-mile-an-hour little storm that just come out of nowhere, microburst is what they called it. 18 people were on the boat. They have rescued 6. Now,
Goodness.
as we all know, this is now Wednesday. This happened Tuesday. That would be a long time in the water. It looks grim. Not to say that survivors still not can be found, but it just does not look good for this long of time.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people in this state that do work out there.
Yeah.
You know, I have a customer that her husband works out there. I need to call and check on her.
The oil field is tightly tied to Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana. That's what so many people do for a living. And then, of course, that being attacked by government people that don't want that to happen anymore. And it's the livelihood of the nation.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a lot of stuff to me changing in a lot of different professions, including mine. So,
Well, and now that you brought that up, let me pull that. I got that here. JTV out of Jackson. We talked about this a few months ago, to where the governor was looking at signing some bills to where, well, maybe you didn't have to be trained to actually do it anymore.
right.
And this hits home with you a lot more than me. You know more about it. I'll let you talk a little bit here. But here's the headline there. Tate has signed a bill that eliminates licensing requirements, which means going to school, kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to go to school. Usually it's a year for a hairstylist or a cosmetologist, people call. And, you know, you learn all kind of stuff within there. And you have to get a license at the end of it. You have to go through the training. And there's different stages of the training. And, you know, one of them is that you have to learn diseases and disorders of the skin and the scalp. And, I mean, this is stuff you need to know. If you're messing with people's, like, skin, I don't care if you're doing a massage on the people, if you are blow drying their hair, if you're waxing, you know, a part of, like, their eyebrows or their face. I mean, anything. You need to know these things. And the way this article reads is that the whole profession of cosmetology, they're eliminating the licensing for. I tried to speak to State Board this morning, and if you're a cosmetologist in the state of Mississippi, you know that can be kind of hard to get any information sometimes. But
So
I
you
called
didn't
the
stop
governor's.
there.
No, I called the governor's office, and I spoke to someone there. They really didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about it. He did look the bill up that was signed when I told him what the bill was. And he says that it's mainly for, like, people who thread eyebrows, wax eyebrows, do eyelash extensions. He said putting on or removing eyelash extensions. And he said, man, that kind of sounds scary. And I said, well, you know what? It really is scary because you're messing with people's eyes. I mean, you're using chemicals around their eyes if you don't know what you're doing. And, like, I spoke to somebody the other day that said that somebody had used hair glue to glue in their eyelash extensions. Now, I don't do eyelash extensions, but that sounds...
Yeah, you end up like that old girl that put the glue in her hair.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like maybe that doesn't belong on your eyes. I don't know. They might have specific glue. But that's the thing, is that, you know, if you can't look at something and notice it's like a disorder of the skin that could be transmitted from one person to another, like ringworm or scabies. I mean, say you're doing a massage on somebody, you know, you're going to transfer that from one person to another. So that's why you need to go to school and you need to learn these things. And I am going to learn more today, hopefully, about this and try to find out more, because it was real vague as far as the article.
And originally that article that come out was going to be other professions as well that they loosened all of this stuff up on, and they hadn't released all it. So we'll know more tomorrow about it.
Hopefully I'll know more tomorrow, but I'm going to advise, like, I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice. If you go to get your hair done, if you go to get any kind of chemical on your skin done, anything, make sure you ask, do they have a license? Because that really does matter. And it does, you know, I know there's a lot of people like, because the article, I think, said that it would make it easier for people who didn't have the means to go to school as far as financially and all this. I went on a Pell Grant back when I went. And that's something that I didn't have to pay back, thank goodness. But I did. That's how I got to go to school. And then also I got a scholarship to go. But there's ways. I mean, not everything, but this is just, you know, the world we live in right now. Everything has to be easy and everything has to be right now.
Yeah, it's called the dumbing down of America is what that's called.
So there's reasons for people to go to school. Just make sure you ask, do they have a license? It might not bother you that they don't have a license. And then, you know, but I told the guy this morning, I was like, this was a very ill advised decision for them to make. And I believe it's just opening up the door for lawsuits.
It could be.
You know,
Gail said it's kind of like using Preparation H there to brush your teeth. I cannot imagine.
I mean, seriously.
Go, girl.
Because to me, they're not going to stop with, like, just cosmetic. I mean, to me, hair was probably the easiest thing to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'll be other professions pretty soon. I mean, do you want somebody messing with your teeth that,
all right,
you know, just decided yesterday they were going to go,
hey, I can do this.
I don't know. That
We'll
sounds like I'm blowing that out of proportion. But, I mean, I'm serious. Like, where do you stop?
And there is more involved with it. We just haven't got the details.
Hopefully I'll know a little more tomorrow, though.
Yeah, don't trust me. She's going to call the governor back.
I just want to know. Like, I'd like to directly speak to him and find out who advised him to make this decision.
I'd like to talk to him, too, if you get him.
Well, yeah, and how much knowledge did the people who introduced this bill, like, just...
May have been the guy that put in the 4-lane up to his subdivision. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway.
Y'all remember the story back at the Super Bowl when that happened there? The main guy that was over the Chiefs, the head football coach, his son worked there also. Well, he got to drinking there at the field, pulls out onto the interstate, and hits somebody that has run out of gas.
Oh, my goodness.
And had a little girl in the back seat. And she's forever damaged. As we go to the news story here, it looks like he's going to be going to jail. He's facing 7 years in prison for what he done. It's a 5-year-old little girl. She's got brain injuries from it. This is him. Then this was the little girl that was injured there. And I don't think that's his dad. Now, this is the car. So this was not like it was just a bump,
right?
A scrape. This was serious. He was hauling it when he ran in.
I can't even tell what part of that car. Is that the back
That's
of the car?
the trunk, yeah, where he ran into the back of it.
So he, like, jammed the whole back seat into the front
Yeah,
of the
and
car.
now, again, they were
horrible.
off on the side of the road. They were not on the road. He was drinking and driving,
That's
leaving
awful.
the stadium. That was
Horrible.
February 4th when that happened. And that could have been worse. We don't know if that little girl will ever recover from those. We hope so.
We do hope so. That is awful.
So that's one of the news stories. There's a lot going on in the nation today. I forgot about this guy. Remember Andrew Yang? He got like 12 votes. Let
So
me
he's
see
hoping
here.
to get more.
Yeah.
On this go round, I guess.
He's going to be running for mayor of New York. And he talked about, and this is a sad situation. His son is allergic to their dog, and he teared up during his speech there about having to give the dog away to somebody else to go live with.
Yeah.
My daughter is allergic to everything except a dog. She can't be within 50 feet of a cat.
Really?
Madison swells up like you ain't. I never in my life witnessed anybody that could be that allergic to something, but she is. And I don't know where she got that from, but that does exist. So my heartfelt condolences to him of having to. That'd be bad to have to give up your pet.
It would be, because that's part of the family.
Yeah.
You know.
But that happened with him. Now, Russia. You don't. I watched a movie on this years ago, and what was that show that was real big in theaters? It was a spooky movie years ago about exorcisms, to where the little girl in there turned her head all the way around.
Was it called The Exorcist?
It may have been. Yeah, that was it.
I think.
But Russia is now warning folks to leave it to the professionals. Don't just be doing this, casting out demons. They've killed numbers of people trying to exorcise and beat them to death, where they thought if they beat it, whooped up on them, they could get the devil out of them. And so they're saying, back off, let the professionals handle any exorcisms.
Yeah, I've not ever witnessed anything like that, and I've seen the movie you're talking about, snippets of it. I don't even like watching stuff like that, though. I feel like you're opening up the door to...
That's what I called as a kid finger watching, and what I mean by that is this.
Yeah,
And you
I
poke
didn't.
your eye.
I to this day, I don't like. Now my girls, they love to watch all that paranormal stuff on TV. I do not like it. They would have it on, and I'd be like, "Turn that mess off." Because I don't like that I don't even like that watched in the house. Because
I agree.
I feel like you're introducing that into your home. I don't know. Even if it's on TV, just the thought of it. And just the entertainment of it. I don't know. I don't like it.
I get you. I follow you.
Yeah,
I'm in full agreement. The only thing I have to say that I ever watched that I laughed and I thought was just hilarious is when they made fun of the Scary Movie series.
Yeah,
Did you see any of that?
That is kind of funny.
Had Charlie Sheen in it and a few others, and they just poked fun at all of those scary movies.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing I've seen.
Yeah, but now I do believe there's people that need some exorcist type stuff. I told you a while back that I can kind of meet people sometimes and just get that sixth sense.
Oh, you do. It's
Just
that
a
little
sick
voice.
feeling like
Back
they
away.
got a little evil up in them. I don't know. So I kind of want to go the other way. Into contact with somebody like that.
And a lot of people refer to that as sometimes God speaking to you, and that's your little warning of you don't need to be here.
Steer clear of them. Yeah.
That the little angel that jumps up on your shoulder there that talks to you, and then you got the devil on the other side. I do it. But when you start getting those feelings, something ain't right. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Because something ain't right.
Oh yeah. There is people that you can feel they radiate the evil. Radiate.
Stay away from them by all means. Let's see here. Let's talk about our friends. I was out yesterday. I had a chance to go back by Freeman Tractor and visit with my buddies, Cole. Yep, he was hard at it. Coleslaw and buttermilk. They were delivering yet more lawnmowers. They're everywhere. If you're looking for it, they'd just gotten in a new shipment of the X Marks. If you're looking for one, starting at around $29.99, you can get your very own there. Now, they go on up. You can get all the way up to the 60-inch cut. I borrowed my neighbor's yesterday afternoon. I'm getting mine serviced out at Freeman. And, boy, talk about nice and get so much more done with 60 inches.
That's what we need. We need actually, I don't know what ours is. I think we've got a 52-inch.
You got to go back and measure it?
I've got a little 42-inch that I bought because that's what I could afford.
Yeah.
When I went and bought one. But we have so much grass to cut. So the more grass you got, the wider the cut that you need probably to get it done in a hurry. But, they are expensive, but they are well worth it.
Skags, they start at $46.99. A great mower, very comfortable. That ride, they've got extra cushioning on those seats there. Air ride, you'll like that. You can put a lot of gas in it and just keep right on trucking. The Liberty, that's a starting model there for you.
They need to put seat belts on them.
They do have them. You just hadn't looked at yours.
Depending on the driver.
Yeah, mine's got seat belt.
Oh, really?
Tractors, even tractors nowadays come with seat belts from back in the days. Cab, air conditioner, and another tractor left while I was standing there yesterday afternoon also. And again, the complete line of LSs, the four-wheel drives. You can get the bush hog attachments. I don't know why my voice has been quitting here lately. It just wants to stop. But, of course, we've got also the galvanized. Now, this is the equipment that will last forever there. It's great for you. You've got your bat wings, your regular 5 and 6 foot, all the way up, taking care of all of your discs, getting ready for planting, forks. We've got the Warriors. That's right there, the benches that are made in Texas. You can get those 0%. You can get them with cab and air conditioning and heating. You got the 550s, the 750s, and a few of the racing ones are left there at Freeman Tractor. Drop in and see them again. You can find all of this and so much more there at Freeman Tractor, Buttermilk, or Coleslaw. See them today, Highway 494 in the Meridian area right outside of Sickalina. They'll help you and get you all taken care of, won't they?
They will.
My voice came back finally.
I'm telling you, this pollen is still floating around out there.
Yeah.
And it affects you. Like you said, you were cutting grass yesterday. That's probably why. It probably aggravates it. Yeah.
I don't know where this is headed, but we've said for many, many, many times that there are those within the government that like wars due to contracts and the money making that is put off of this. Biden, they say, picked up the phone yesterday. We're not real sure if Kamala held the phone while he talked to him or not, but supposedly he called Putin yesterday and told him to back down.
I'm sure Putin was real worried.
I mean, after hearing the popcorn story, I mean, would you not be? Wasn't that his name? Oh, yeah. Corn Pop, or was it Popcorn?
Corn Pop, the one that.
Yeah, their swimming pool. He whooped him with a chain link fence.
Yeah, then he talked about his hair on his legs.
That's him.
And the roaches, just out of nowhere, roaches.
Would you love to have heard that conversation?
Lord.
But I just don't see Putin getting scared over a conversation with him. And it is.
It really concerns me, though, like on a serious note. It does concern me.
It's escalating there.
That we kind of seem incompetent.
But that area right there, Ukraine.
To take care of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, watch it. Let's see here. This is almost, and I share a lot of these stories because you probably wouldn't see it but it always runs the risk. I don't know if the word is spreading. If it's happening once, it's going to come back again. Why this would ever be one. But this is in New York is where this is. A New Yorker is challenging the law that they want to marry their child. Now, all parties are hidden on this, all the information. It doesn't tell if this is man, woman, ages, or any of this. But they're suing to overturn the law of incest to say that they can marry their child.
Now, if they go back and they say that's okay after that, I mean, if they overturn that, you got a major, major problem. I mean, that is just insane. That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to even bring it up, but if it's happening there, that's going to spread. It always does.
That's a sicko.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just sick if you want to marry your own child and want the incest laws to be declared unconstitutional.
Where does this begin? I don't get it. And as Candace Fuller said, people are sick. There are some sickos out there. I agree with you, Candace.
I feel for the poor children who have parents that are just mentally ill. You got to be like something mentally wrong with you. I think that's okay.
The story that is gripping America by far right now, that is the headline no matter where you go, is the young man, Dwayne, is it Daunte? Is that how you say his name? Daunte Wright. His parents did a press conference yesterday. And regardless of who you are or what you think of the case, you have to be compelled. A parent would be beyond upset.
Oh, yeah. Regardless of the situation, if I lost my child, I would be devastated. I would be upset. I'd be hurt. I'd be mad. I'd have all these emotions balled into one, just like they do. But on the other hand, too, you got to go by facts and
and I did not know originally that she was training someone that she had with them. Then you get into the police chief that backed her, who said he thought it was an accident, has had to resign. Was it the city advisor had to resign also because he said, hold on, let's let due process handle?
I think so.
He's out of there.
Yeah.
And you go with this. Now we find out, and I had no idea, and this had a lot to do with, they were saying, well, why did they pull him out of the car? Well, here's the reason, as we find out more information on this. He had a warrant out for his arrest. He was accused, and the word is accused, of choking a woman and robbing her at gunpoint, and there was a warrant for his arrest. So whenever you run that tag number and realize, okay, the tag is out of date, and he also has a warrant, that means you got to get out of the car. And as bad as you hate to get into all of this, had he just abided by what they asked, we wouldn't be talking about this today.
He called they wanted his, I think, insurance
and he called his mama.
He called his mother. She was on the phone while they were having the issue with the police, and she asked him to put the policeman on the phone, I think, or something, so she could explain.
Right.
But I don't know if they ever got to that point because
it went south when they went to handcuff him, and he resisted and jumped back in the car to take off. And had that scene not happened, this wouldn't be here. But it wasn't like he didn't have an arrest warrant now, as we find out. There was a reasoning for get out of the car.
Yeah.
If you have an arrest warrant, they will do that to you.
Well, and I think Robin Roberts was the one that was on Good Morning America, was asking the questions to the parents. It was an interview. And, of course, the mother was very, very upset, and she was crying. The father was obviously upset. And she asked, do you know why they would have asked him to stop? Of course, she said no. I have no idea. But so surely they knew there was a warrant out for his arrest, I would think.
You would think. And, they kept saying in the beginning.
You have to serve a warrant.
Which made no sense to me. When this story first broke, they kept saying he was pulled over because of an air freshener.
Yeah, she said an air freshener hanging from the rearview mirror.
I've never heard of that in my life. Now, I don't really know where that come from or how it applies to this. But it was because of the tag issue, was, from my understanding, why he was pulled over. He may have had an air freshener that, who knows what it was, but didn't have anything to do with that. But again, the arrest warrant had a major play in this. Now, it gets dirtier as we dig into this. The cop has resigned. She was there 25, 26 years. People now have leaked her address as we look at this. And the police have had to go put up a barrier around her house. Her life is in danger now because of this, of whoever leaked her address. That was not the thing to do by any means.
No, that's horrible.
That's not going to be a good ending there. She will, regardless if she makes it out of this without time, or she'll have to move.
Yeah.
You cannot stay there in a town where everybody knows your address. And as you go deeper into this, that little squad there, the AOC group there, in light of all of this, they're calling for the police again to be abolished.
What good does that do? And who was the first one when she was scared at the Capitol, AOC?
Yeah.
Who's the first one they call?
Yeah, they call the cops.
And
here's, and I cannot pronounce it. How do you pronounce that, Candace?
Rashida?
Yeah.
I don't know about the last name unless the T is silent. And
yeah, I can't pronounce it, but she is leading that, and of course AOC is backing her about getting rid of police. And as you go into this, let's just take a look at New York, where a lot of these politicians are that support this. Crime is on the rise. It's awful. Broad daylight. People are getting attacked. An Asian man this week was attacked and beaten walking down the street and he gets hit and beat. And then you got DeBlasio not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Shaking hands and running around doing other things.
Bumping elbows.
Worry about the things that are important, the safety of your people. That's what you're elected to do. Above all, that's your number one job is safety, helping with jobs and making sure people can eat and go to work.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, I just wish they'd make a clean sweep across this nation of people. If you are not if your job calls for you to be a, service to the people, help the people out, and you're not doing your job, you need to go.
I agree with that.
I mean, it don't need to be 2 years from now. You need to go because your term, they need to get rid of you ASAP if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And we all know, if the police were gone, this would become a zone.
Oh.
Because people would take the law into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that don't realize that.
I mean,
It's a bad situation. It's a combination that does not need to happen.
Yeah. We're changing laws on stuff that really shouldn't even matter. And then on, words being, and all this, but then you want to get rid of the actual law, to help people out.
Yeah, we got people starving, needs job, people that are trying to get into the country illegal, and you worry about things of Mr. Potato Head. Michael J. Fox, everybody remembers him from, what was that, 1985? That Back to the Future came out?
Yeah, Back to the Future, and then Family Ties. He was on the sitcom.
Forgot about that. He released yesterday that his puppy dog passed away. And as we all know, that can be a sorrowful moment there for anybody. That was his dog there. I think he had him for 12 years.
We've had our little dog for going on 18 years.
That's a long time.
Yes. She's a little miniature Dachshund.
Wow.
She's getting frail, so... That's a long time to have a dog. Even 12 years is a long time. And it's sad because, when they're gone, you've lost a member of your family.
Yeah.
So.
Jesse Smith, thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
But it's just, it's touching to, to go back and no matter who you are and relate that, even the story of the guy that had to give his young Yang that's running for.
Oh, yeah. Give the dog away because somebody was allergic to it. Yeah.
Now, had we known this next story, maybe this is what we all needed to do in the first place instead of going to get a COVID shot. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but they're now saying that getting in a chlorinated pool will kill the COVID virus.
I bet people that install swimming pools, their
Pretty,
business will shoot.
Yeah. So maybe the thing is, this was all done in London there, so maybe go take a swim today.
Yeah. Of course, we don't want people. Okay, we're gonna have some crazies, that's gonna get in the bathtub and pour bleach up in there.
Don't be doing that because that's what they accuse Trump of.
Right. Okay. That. So don't go take it into your own hands to make your own swimming pool and bathroom. We'll have somebody do that. I'm sure somebody in the United States.
So don't be blaming them. They're just saying that swimming could possibly lead to it.
I'm sure bleach does kill the virus.
Kills everything else.
Right. So.
Put your clean countertops.
Be smart though.
Yeah. Y'all remember the story of what was going on in California of the teacher that jumped on the students there and dared the parents to turn her in?
Yeah.
Well, more comes out of this as a student steps forward and goes, whoa, hang on a minute. She's done more than that. She called him a moron, and then she tried to convince him because he was white, he was getting everything, and he's speaking out.
Yeah. Well, this is the problem, okay, nowadays, that people want to silence people like that. That I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the kid.
Right.
I mean, because I don't believe that. I don't believe, because you're a certain
color
that you get everything. That's ridiculous. That's a stereotype, and that's a false narrative. That's crazy. But she was cussing.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Teacher.
I mean, saying like all kind of stuff, and so she needs to go, I think.
So we'll see if they actually do anything there.
I mean, I'm sure there are people you want to call a moron.
We've all gotten mad at somebody.
But you don't do that.
No.
You don't. As a teacher, you don't go around calling your students morons and
go to your car and mumble that if you think that.
Right. Chances are you probably ain't gonna have a job.
Yeah, it never works out for you in the end. No matter what industry you're in, remember what was the old saying? The customer is always right. If you don't agree with something that doesn't, just hold your tongue.
Just because it's in your head, don't mean it needs to come out of your mouth.
Correct.
All the time. I mean, I know I give my opinion, but I do kind of think before I speak sometimes. There's been a couple of times where
anger got the best of you.
That did not sound good. But yeah.
Let's see here. Scrabble is also woke now. And from what I understand, they had these Scrabble tournaments, and they told them to continue this has to come out or they're going away. So Scrabble is now getting rid of 400 offensive words.
I would love to know what those 400 words are.
I read some of them, and I'm not going to repeat it because it'll be taken out of context of
Okay.
some of the words that were on there on the list. But everything these days, we can no longer say boy, girl, things of that nature. In their world, I think in the South will be the last to change on all of this.
I hope they don't, though. I hope they.
I agree. A lot of senselessness.
Yeah.
Overreactions. As we watch what goes on across the water here, as we talked about Biden making the phone call yesterday, remember the deal that Trump backed out of? Well, they're amping things up now as we go to this story. They're enriching uranium to 60%, the highest level ever that they've had, only 30% of a way of making it for military use. Not good at all. Iran does not have your best interest in mind with whatever they're doing. Never forget that.
I just wonder how long, everybody's just going to let this little merry-go-round keep going around.
And it is merry-go-round.
With the administration. How long are they going to let things just keep escalating south before?
But it's not only the administration. There is a group of people that truly believe in that way of life. And for so long now, the other people that didn't believe it just stepped back and said, oh, it's just a few of them. It doesn't matter. But they're loud. They're very loud. Doesn't make them...
Like what way of life? What are you talking about?
As in the left of believing that sometimes where it's plain as day, where they can twist the truth and it doesn't look.
Oh, yeah, there is. But I'm talking about like with all this like possible... Well, these people they want to go to war with the United States. There's several now. There's Iran, China, Russia. All this kind of stuff is just escalating. And how long are we going to let it drag out to where something major is going to happen to where there's no coming back from it? I don't know.
It could happen any day.
It's just like we're allowing them to just cut our own throats up there in Washington. So I don't know.
More to come on that. They say climate change is coming, and also that's going to affect temperature, and you won't be able to raise French fries. Say that it's going to make it harder for potatoes to grow. Now, I don't know as much about global warming as maybe I should, but they're threatening that and saying that it's going to be a shortage of that coming before too long.
Yeah.
I just know that Al Gore one time said that what was it, that it'd be the end of something. He put 10 years on it. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Most likely not. But Hawaii, this will get your feathers ruffled here as we look at Hawaii, is they're loosening up laws again to make abortion spread. Is that the best way to do that? They're going to let nurses now start performing this in some of these procedures. And that's what I meant by the ideas in the left and all this.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Obviously, they are. But I don't agree with the whole abortion issue. But
yeah, not at all. So that's one of the headlines this morning coming out of Hawaii. Hawaii, a very very liberal state there, very liberal. Can you parallel park?
I can. I don't like it because I'm not really. That's not something I do all the time, and I avoid it at all costs if I can. I'll just go drive around the block and find somewhere else to park if I think I'm gonna have to do it. But I can do it.
Now,
it ain't pretty.
When I got my driver's license, it was required that you do it to get your license.
Yeah,
I don't know if you still have to do that or not.
I did have to do it.
But as towns get bigger, that's becoming the 2-lane street with the parking lot. That's becoming a thing of the past now.
Yeah.
To where you parked in front of the store. But they're like you take Meridian area, 8th Street. Downtown DeKalb has got parallel parking. I think they're on the side of the road there, across from where the Handy Mart used to do. And it's important to know how to do it because you could get in a jam.
Right.
But not everybody is capable of doing it. And you would almost call this, just almost mean to a degree, with this lady where they videoed her. She's pulling into park, and as you look at this, she's trying to get her car in here. And it's a tight thing. As you see, she pulled in. She needed to come on up here and pull in and then back in the parking place.
Back it up again.
Well, as the video keeps going here, the lady that walks up behind her and helps her kind of park it, And then she gets in her car and drives off.
She needs to pull up a little
Where
bit
she
further,
could have
but
done
When
that
she
to
could have
you.
said, "Hey, I'm
Might
fixing to
be
move my
on
car.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Angle-
about doing that. Just pull
angle
on
in.
in."
But this poor
Stop.
lady had no clue
Stop.
how to parallel park.
Yeah.
This goes on and on and on with her trying to get into the parking place. And as they show pictures down through here, she's still backing up. Now, this is the lady that owned the car behind her. She helps her get in it, and after she finally wiggles in it, then she drives off.
Oh gosh,
But practice your parallel parking. You never know when you might have to do that one day.
that's right.
So, to get into that one little place there. Other big news yesterday, if you'll remember, I'd almost forgotten about the case. When it popped up on the headline that it was going on, it took me a moment to remember. 1996 has been a while, and they've made an
25
arrest.
years.
They've charged somebody with her disappearance. Now, it doesn't mean that he's done it, but there's a connection some kind of a way.
Well, they declared her dead. So I don't know if they had somebody that confessed to something or knew some facts. I'm not that familiar with it, but I don't think they ever recovered a body. So.
No, I don't think so either. And this was him back in 96, and this is what she looked like at the time that she went missing. And apparently there's been some more I's and T's dotted and more to come out on this in the days ahead as if he's guilty, then he should pay.
Right.
We'll see what evidence they haven't released any information. We don't know yet. So one of those cases we're watching. But a cold case file possibly coming to an end.
Yeah. Which is a good thing for the parents that, just had that, they weren't able to put closure to it, It would be awful, though. I hope I'm able to go before my children. I don't ever want to.
We all do. DNA is starting to play such a big role in these cold case files of something that they may have stuffed in an envelope years ago when we didn't have that technology.
Right. It is. I mean, it is really evolved into, they can solve all kind of stuff, not just murders.
Right.
All kind of stuff. So.
Now, in the past, we've seen where Uber drivers are attacked. People call and people are drinking, and they attack the Uber driver. What is going to happen after this starts? Because I think this is just opening up, is it Pandora's box of trouble coming? Here's your headline on this. They're going to start delivering marijuana once the federal law lets them do it and set aside $250 million to sign up new people to deliver the marijuana. So they're expecting big-time revenue making in on this. But
legal marijuana?
Legal.
What were we talking about? The medical marijuana?
Yeah.
Like legal? Is that what we're talking about, or are we talking about recreational?
Probably a little bit of both there to where they could deliver it either way.
Right. Do you think they'll stop at marijuana, though?
Yeah, it's a good point.
So,
But you
even
get
though
somebody
the other
that-
drugs
that's-
won't be legalized, but people will be using the Uber drivers.
But you get into the drinking here of people that get into fights, and then you get somebody that's high, orders it, and the Uber driver doesn't get there in the time limit they think. And
Right.
it's just, I just think it opens up the gate to more issues. But they're going to make money off of it. That is coming.
I just think that if it's profitable, I don't think there's any line that they don't cross.
Well, the state of Mississippi, as you saw, now is legalizing the delivery of liquor.
Yeah, I saw that.
How you feel about that?
I think, I guess wine is not considered, or is it liquor? I don't even know, because but I think for a while now, somebody's been delivering wine to people's home, like when the pandemic. So, I don't know.
Peggy Nowell made a good point there. She said she's a retired bank employee, and she said the customer is not always right, but there are also the customer. Treat them as such. And that makes sense there. I agree with you on that.
Even in doing hair, I don't always agree with what somebody wants me to do to their hair, I'll tell them, I don't agree with it, but I don't treat anybody ugly. I'm still real respectful. And I just say, if you just don't tell nobody I did it.
Oh, as we have the severe weather threat today, let's bring up the Precast Group. They build tornado shelters here, right here in the Meridian area. And if you don't own a tornado shelter and you're looking at wanting one, talk to these folks. They build them here. They're great and very affordable, help you out there. You can use your stimulus money if you've got a little bit extra there to go towards this. This is one of those that's an above ground that we showed the first picture of. And again, as that says there, don't wait too late. Be prepared for what's coming.
That's right.
Now, we don't have tornadic activity experience in today, but you never know when that moment comes that you'll need something like this. And the precast group specialize in it. They're very good at this. They can deliver it and install it, find out how affordable it is for you. If you're building your home, you can put these on the inside, bolt them down, make it a closet, and it'll blend in. No one will ever even know that it's there. If not, you can put it outside like this one is here. You can do anything you want, design it any way you want on the inside. Just make it your little personal one. There's one set up at a company. These are the in-ground type that they also build there. Mm-hmm. You can set them up above ground like that in a bank. Isn't that handy?
It is.
You can
I
also
would feel safer in the bank like
that. Yeah, that does
but,
look good.
You know. But, I mean, they've been proven to be safe, so.
And, of course, that's your air vents on top there. And you can have it sticking above ground and well, decorate it any way you want to. There's just different ways that you can do it. However, see them today. It's the Precast Group, 601-482-0003. Speak to them, find out how you can get yours today, and be on your way to feeling safe at night in the middle of things. Because, man, it's important.
Yes, it is.
New Mexico's governor, in another headline, little issue going on there, has to pay $62,000 to settle a mistreatment claim from a male staffer.
And then I guess whoever it was, somebody poured water on his crotch and then grabbed him.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone.
Crazy.
Yeah, but that's the story out of New Mexico this morning.
$62,500.
Yeah. We all have a deadline. I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but if you haven't done your taxes, they have allowed a little bit of a delay there till May the 17th is now the deadline. It's usually tomorrow, and the 15th of April when it was always due.
April 15th, yeah.
So a little bit of an extra time there for you to get that done. They're saying it's due to the pandemic, so that part's good.
Good for the taxpayers, not great for the accountants.
Yeah, that's right. It was a big day for George Jones.
Yeah.
1962, he released She Thinks I Still Care. It would be a few years later, 1980, on this same date, that George would release his most famous song that there ever was, He Stopped Loving Her Today. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people's eyes, that is the greatest country song that has ever been written. It's a toss-up there. Hank Williams has quite a few there that is good, though.
But I told you, like the other day, that was my dad's. That was one of his
favorite
favorites.
Songs?
It was. Every time I hear it, I think about my daddy.
But I'm so lonesome I could cry. I'm telling you, those two, and between that, it's a tight race there. It's Loretta Lynn's birthday. She was born on this date in 1932. Can you believe that, Loretta?
Loretta.
I like me some Loretta. You remember the girl that played Buffy the Vampire? Uh-huh. She's having a birthday. Her name is Sarah Michelle Gallagher is her name. She's born in 1977. And then Pete Rose has a birthday. And I don't think he will ever live to see the day to go into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's not looking like it.
Gosh. Well.
And, of course, he
got in trouble for some gambling.
Betting on his own team is what it was. And, he still, regardless where they let him in, broke all those records. Yeah. Whether they won't admit it or not.
I mean, he still was one of the greats,
It was also on this date that tragedy would hit America for the first time. It had never happened before. 1865, this was the day that Abraham Lincoln went into Ford's Theater to sit down and watch the play. Mm-hmm. It didn't end well because John Wilkes Booth would soon enter the room, and he was assassinated on this date, 1865. I did not realize that had slipped up on us.
Yeah.
Also tonight would be a tragedy once again in 1912. In the wee hours, I think it was like 11:40 p.m. at night, 20 minutes before midnight, and this will be all in the news tomorrow because officially tomorrow is the date. But the Titanic struck that first iceberg at 11:40 on this date, right before midnight, and it would sink 2 to 3 hours later. And so that'll be over the headlines tomorrow of the Titanic sunk.
Gosh, I cannot even imagine. Just watching the movie Titanic. Have you seen the movie? Did you ever see it?
Yes.
Just watching that, I can't imagine what those people went through. I mean, that would be just...
Not long ago, they auctioned off the violin. Of course, the violin was the last thing played as the ship went under. They found it floating, and it was given to his girlfriend, the guy that was playing it. She kept it in an attic for years, and then it was donated, and then someone discovered what it was, and it sold for millions.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, was the diamond thing, the blue diamond?
That I don't know.
I wonder if that was just was that a true thing, or was that just for the movie?
That's a good question. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have studied that and know that. I know that this week, one of the last postcards, the guy that was on the ship that sent the emergency SOS, that he had sent a postcard to his sister right before they set sail, and it sold at an auction for like $9,000 or $10,000 this week.
Yeah.
From the Titanic.
Yes.
I got a piece of coal from it that they sold years ago from the Titanic. Interesting stuff there.
That is neat. Now, stuff like that I like. History about stuff like that that's interesting to me. I mean, I like that. But anyway.
And you know, do I know if there's gold on the ship? I've always heard rumored that the cargo hold had a lot of gold, but they claimed that they would never touch any of that. So we'll see there. Let's see here. Other news this morning. Let's see. Bernie Madoff has died. This is a breaking news story here as we pull this up. Bernie Madoff has died in prison. He spent
that Ponzi scheme thing that he.
So that's breaking headlines that just went on.
Says he died from natural causes, but
150-year sentence. Whoa, I didn't realize it was that long. I thought he got, but as you dig into this, yeah. So that's breaking news this morning as he passes away, and he should have been there. He ruined a lot of lives.
Oh yeah,
took everything people had. Just it didn't right for someone to cheat others out of what they worked so hard to do. So that's where those thoughts are on that. So what is your day turning out like?
I am just going to work today, so I'm going to do some hair after I leave here, you know. And I guess I'll be coming home in the rain.
Yeah, it's going to be raining here in a little while. We'll go back to radar in a moment before we get out of here, so you'll kind of be up to date on all of that. With that, as we talked about tornado shelters and things, don't forget Sanders Gas when it's either time to make sure that you've got gas logs in your house.
Right.
Chilly mornings like this, it's nice
I had mine on this morning.
To back up to warm up.
Yeah, I had my logs on this morning. I flipped the heat on this morning. Yesterday, I kind of got... my husband said, "My gosh, you got the air on, and then you got the logs on." I was like, "Look,
just leave me alone."
I know, just hush. I got up and it was cold, so I turned on the gas log.
Now, our logs that we got at Sanders will automatically turn. If you set it to a temperature, they'll automatically turn on.
Ours on.
Angie took the class and knows how to operate that. I do not. I know how to hit the button and make it come on. She gets mad at me.
You have a remote with it? See, I don't have a remote. I
love that remote.
I wish I did, but yeah, mine will go off if it gets too warm in there, and if I don't have them all the way up on high, I'll just go over there and kick them back on.
Yeah, and that's where she gets upset with me about that. But I can't help it. And, of course, when it comes to if you lose power, talk to them about a generator that will run your entire house. Yes. We can't tell you how many people that during these storms that we have, you have to drag them out of your garage. The little ones, what I'm talking about, they don't run right. You don't have enough fuel to run but a few hours there. Go ahead and get you a Generac generator from Sanders Gas that will be there and run your entire home, your refrigerators, your freezers. You think about this alone of what it costs you if your freezer goes out.
Oh, I know.
Because we got two of them
You lose
stacked.
all that food. And what's really bad, listen to what happened to us years ago. Our freezer, you know, I guess something went out with it. I know we're talking about the power, but went out and ruined everything. And it was a freezer that I really didn't open that often.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you that about knocked you down.
Oh, my gosh. It was awful. So, yeah.
So this is just a cure to all of that. Get you one of these. I've shown the pictures of mine at my home. It blends in. And I hadn't got the what do you call that, the landscaping back yet.
But it still looks great. I mean, even with nothing around it, I mean, it's real clean looking,
just small.
You know? Right.
If you'll go back and you think about all these diesel ones that take up half your backyard and they cost anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000, and they are that expensive depending on how big you get those big ones. These are very, very affordable. And again, let me remind you, run everything in your house. You don't miss a beat when the power goes out.
Yeah, and it's automatic.
Yeah.
It just flips on, you know.
By itself. Turns off. You never know it. Sanders Gas, see them today. They will help you in any shape, form, or way. Now, let's go back to radar and take a look at what we're looking at. Let's look at the whole thing, and let me turn some buttons off to where it's not so confusing there of what you're looking at. This, again, as we pull up radar, is what we're looking at as threats today. A little bit there in Virginia. We got some light showers through West Virginia right now up to Washington and Maryland. This is at a number 1 here in the Virginia area. In the Carolinas, as we come down, light showers all through Georgia and these areas here through South Carolina. And as you get closer to home here, Pensacola, it's a one area, and that goes all the way over to New Orleans. And when you get to Baton Rouge, it's going to go up. If you're traveling 10 today, got to go through there, and you cross that Baton Rouge, Mississippi River, the bridge there, awful.
Right.
That is just a place you don't want to be. It goes from there to Beaumont, being in heavy rain there today. So if you've got to travel, keep it in mind as we go across here. Light stuff out to Midland, Odessa, all up here through Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is those fire watches that they've got out. And still, Wyoming, not the place to be because it's snowing there. As we go down, let's turn this off so we can look at exactly where the rain is right now. As we go back in here to Louisiana, let's pull in so you can take a look at this. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, starting to see some showers there, and we see a little bit there in Laurel there, around there in Jones County. And Jones Junior College is getting real close to y'all rain. As we come down into the Hattiesburg area, raining at the University of Southern Mississippi across Hardy Street, and we go across this area to Columbia, Mississippi, and over Tylertown. A lot of folks watch from the Tylertown area. Y'all getting some rain. This is the worst of the stuff coming from Baton Rouge right here. We're already seeing some storm tracks. No warnings with it yet, but that is still heavy thunderstorm activity. As you look in here to Baton Rouge, as I mentioned, you don't want to be crossing that big river bridge there with all that rain coming down. It's chaotic there. But again, the most of the rain today is expected to be south of I-20 across southern Lauderdale County. As we get up here and we zoom in here, it's going to be this area right through here. Just the middle part of the county and southward, expect heavier rain there. So that's what we've got lined up. Big thank you to Bill watching on YouTube there. Said he enjoys the show. Been watching it for about a week there. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and he asked me what my thoughts on the COVID thing was.
Which part of it?
Well, he said, what were my thoughts on all the COVID? Did I think it was as bad as they say, or just something to take our rights and bring in new laws? I mean, I do think it's as bad as, because I've known people who have died from it, and every day, like, I know people who have died from it.
Now, I had a friend that his fingers turned black, and it was like they were, and he died. Yeah,
I do believe it is a very real thing. I do think there's money to be made in the vaccine type thing, but we really can't. I mean, we can question it all day long, but
anytime
really
there's a disaster, trust me on this, a politician will take it and run with it.
Yeah, I do believe there's
use
people
it to their advantage.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I believe people will take advantage of people, and you know, I've said several times. Sometimes I feel like even when it's getting better, they don't want to acknowledge it's getting better because maybe it benefits them in some kind of way. So, you know, I really don't know what the answer to that is. I think we have taken it serious, though, and I do think things are looking up. I hope nothing else comes about that's even worse, you know, or I hope it doesn't ramp back up. So.
Now, I'll admit there in the very beginning, I thought, that's some other country. That ain't coming here.
Well,
I thought
Fauci said that it wouldn't reach our shores at first, you know. So,
and it did.
It did, and it just was like a wildfire. I mean, it just took off, you know.
And again, I will say this. Y'all do not for 1 minute think that this is the last disease that we're going to see like this. There's something else coming. Other countries that want to bring harm to the United States, England and places like this, plan this stuff. They invent these things in a lab to where they can hurt so many people, and do not think that they will not throw that on people to hurt them.
And unfortunately, we're living in a world where you can't trust everybody. And I think people who, some people might say this is a conspiracy type thing, but I believe that people can throw stuff into our society that causes chaos, purposely throw it in there, and purposely start something because in the long run it might benefit them in some kind of way. That's evil to me. I think that's very evil to do, but it's possible.
Go watch House of Cards and see how it's done.
Yeah.
Do not think that things like that somebody didn't get some of these ideas from reality.
Right.
They do happen, and people will start things to benefit them.
Let's just pray that things do turn around for us in this country, and that good will, you know, prevail in the end. I really hope it does. So that's the only thing I can say, but we appreciate everybody watching and giving their comments.
Yeah, but you know, on that same token, you know, you have to at some point pick up that old book and read Revelations and know at some point how it will end. But just a small thought there. Hopefully today is not that day. We don't want that to happen by any means there. Again, thank each and every one of you for dropping by this morning and spending time with us. We appreciate it.
We do.
As we keep going along, this gets bigger and bigger each day.
And like it and share it. You know, tell people about us, and hopefully every day we'll be back to tell you more on the news stories. But it's a blessing to me. I mean, a lot of times we've shared our testimonies and stuff, and that's a blessing. You know, we love to hear y'all's testimonies if you have one.
Who is the person not to be today? That's Tate Reeves, because she's supposed to call the governor's office. That's all
well,
I got to say.
I called earlier, so I'm done for the day. I'm gonna wait to see if somebody does get, because State Board told me that they would be releasing a statement. So I just want them to clarify it, you know.
Yeah. And what we're talking about is the haircutting deal,
right,
and the procedures and being able to be trained in the state of Mississippi.
Right. There was an article for y'all who have just popped on. There was an article by Jackson TV station, I think, that said that it pretty much was vague to me. It didn't really. It kind of made it sound like that all cosmetology, the whole profession, would not have to be licensed now. I called State Board, though, and they said that it was not the whole profession. It was just some parts of it. And I was speaking to the person in charge of licensing at State Board, but she couldn't tell me anything. So she said the governor's office would be giving a statement later on today. I called the governor's office. Who I was speaking with had no knowledge of a release being done today, but I'm going to wait and see if there's one.
That's called, get her off the phone. Tell her this.
They probably hate to see me calling, but I mean, you know,
you want to know.
This is my profession, though. Doing hair is my profession, and I just want to know the facts. I want to know what it's about, and I want to know who advised the person who signed that bill, you know, and did the person that advised them have all the facts as to what they were talking about? Because, I mean, this could be a snowball. I mean, this could start. It's just a lot of things that I don't think they thought about before they.
Candace, undercover, will break the news story. Again, thank y'all for joining us. We'll be back. We'll watch the weather throughout today. Should at any point it be a threat, we'll go live to tell you about it, street by street, up to your doorstep, or where it's affecting you. You behave is all I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to try to behave. I'm going to try to keep my cool. No, it's going to be a good day, and I'm going to look at it as a good day, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, blessed day.
There you go.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by